Mist is rising on the mountainside. Leaves are blooming in the ash tree. Robin's looking for something sweet. Where I'm sitting beneath the eaves, not one drop will find me. A little seedling is breaking through, persistent as the thought of you. Looking out into a sea of green, thinking on the years and miles that lie between. It seems so long ago, but you're still on my mind, you know. I go walking through the trees, the water dances over stones. The April morning is clean and new, but a breeze has brought the thought of you. Looking out into a sea of green, thinking on the years and miles that lie between. It seems so long ago, but you're still on my mind, you know. I sat down by the riverside, fearing I could drink it dry and still not be satisfied, satisfied. The banks are full with all this rain, and if they'll overflow, I can't say. The crickets calling in the firelight, and a long and gentle sleep tonight. Looking out into a sea of green, thinking on the years and miles that lie between. It seems so long ago, but you're still on my mind. Yeah, you're still on my mind, you know. You know. Still on my mind, you know. The night is louder than it's been before. I hear it knocking on my walls and doors. saying soon enough it's time to go. But these precious hours I keep you close. Of all the nights in recent memory, there were so many you were far from me, and I just hurt my heart keeping lonely time, wishing yours was there to echo mine. If the papers would all print old news, they'd say I'm still in love with you. Let the years go by, it remains the same. What we've got is gold, and what it's worth won't change. Well, I fear I turned you upside down when I tore you from your hometown, just to make you wait at home for me. Keep this fire alive tirelessly. But if your patience ever reached an end, tell me, baby, what would I do then? Say that it's alright to ease my mind, though you told me so 1,000 times. If the papers would all print old news.
Hello, everybody. Hi.
Hi. Whoops.
Hello from Massachusetts.
Yep.
This is Antje Duvekot, and I am Alice Howe, and we are starting the show a little bit differently tonight because we got to be together here in the Boston area, and Freebo is over in LA. So welcome to Inside Live. Our guest tonight is this amazing woman that I've known for years, and I'm so excited to be here with. Thanks for having me over.
Nice to
We're
meet
reunited. We're going to sing together tonight, and we're going to talk to Freebo, and it's going to be a really special show. So if you're listening on the radio, you are listening to WPVM FM 103.7 on the dial, and globally at WPVMFM.org out of Asheville, North Carolina. And if you're watching on Facebook and YouTube, thank you for being here. And please go ahead and hit that share button on Facebook to help more folks find the show tonight. So let's start out with a song. What do you think?
All right. Alice and I failed to get two separate monitors, so we're going to be sharing these headphones back and forth. It's going to be cute. I'm just excited
adorable
to be near you, not social distancing, making
Likewise.
music in real space. It's amazing.
Me too.
This is called Vertigo. Might have cleared my throat earlier. Well, you're on a highway, and I'm climbing out, and I feel the danger as I steal a kiss from your mouth. I will try to hold steady. I want to make you believe that the height of this tightrope is just second nature to me. I will break all my bones, 'cause I lied about the vertigo, and I have never been up this high. There'll be no safety net when I fall right out of the sky, there will be no ambulance waiting, and I have no wings to fly. And we will meet on the borders, barefoot and blessed, in colorful graveyards with flower bouquets for the dead. And I won't ask you to promise that I will not come to harm. But when the wind tugs my courage, will you be my brother in arms? I will break all my bones, 'cause I lied about the vertigo. I have never been up this high. There'll be no safety net when I fall right out of the sky. There will be no ambulance waiting, and I have no wings to fly. I will break all my bones, 'cause I lied about the vertigo. I have never been up this high. There'll be no safety net when I fall right out of the sky. There will be no ambulance waiting, and I have no wings to fly. Still no applause, but soon.
I know it's coming. The applause is coming. Maybe we could have Freebo applaud us.
That'd be great.
There he is. Hi, Freebo.
Hi, guys. Girls. Wow, that was just
Hi.
beautiful.
Hey.
That was beautiful.
How was the balance? Did it sound okay?
Balance was gorgeous. Yeah. I mean, just your harmonies are just exquisite.
Well, thank you.
All right.
It's a beautiful song.
Hi.
Hey, thanks.
It is a beautiful song and just nicely accompanied.
I'll tell a
Yeah.
little story
Wow.
about that song before we
Yeah, why don't you?
start to interview you about it, if I may.
Please.
One of the reasons I'm so excited to welcome, and by the way, sorry for the weird headphone thing. This is just how it's going to be, everybody. We're sharing, okay? Sharing is caring. So I had known of Antje's music from the time I was maybe 16 or 17. And I was growing up in the Boston area, and she was playing around here and had become very well known, and especially in New England. And she was one of the folk stars that I so admired growing up. And it just so happened that I did this project in high school in Newton where I got to interview some musicians that I really admired. And I reached out to Antje through her manager at the time, and she was so nice, and she allowed herself to be interviewed by me at 18.
Aw, yeah.
And I was so grateful for that connection. And you just, it's so funny how you come full circle in life, and now I consider you a friend, and we've done many shows together, and you've been so kind to me and had me open for you like way early on for me all around Boston. And it's just so great. And now here we get to share this time together. So I've known that song for a long time from your record, and then I got to sing it with you live a bunch of times. So
Yeah.
we haven't seen each other in quite a while from COVID and everything and my move, and it's just nice to be back.
It's so nice to see you. I love singing with you always.
Likewise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to comment the same thing because I know, Alice, you've shared that with me, and you and Antje go way back, and how she was, she was one of your idols and still is, of course, but just interesting how you just interviewed her, and just to watch you kind of catch up with her on the folk scene and the Americana scene must be kind of cool to be there with her now.
Not like a mom, but like a slightly older mentor.
You
and
are.
I'm watching you like make it, and now you're on my booking agency,
I know.
Fleming,
We
which
finally,
is really exciting. And
it's so funny because I remember you talking about your agent back then and hearing about Jim.
And you were like, how do I get an agent?
Yeah, I was
and
and it's funny because
know.
and I so appreciate that mentorship, and I've had that from Freebo too, and other artists that I've known, and it's like, you can't always give the answer that the person wants to hear. Like, you can't say, oh, just do this, this, and this, and you'll get the agent or you'll get the manager. You just have to trust and keep going. And I just always appreciate that encouragement. And it's just like, keep just being you.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
as we've spoken many times, Alice, it's just about getting better. So many people try and go, I think, outside in. Okay, if I just get an agent, if I just get a manager, okay, and if I just get a whole bunch of followers on Spotify, everything's going to be good. And meanwhile, it's like, well, what about the music?
The songs,
that's what's going to get it for you.
Yeah.
Antje, I remember first meeting you in Alaska with Alice Paul.
I love that.
Oh my God, we had a tour of Alaska. You, me, Alice Paul, and Alice Paul's assistant was there, and it was so fun.
It was beautiful,
just
it really
such
was.
A weird place, like
when
unlike
was that?
any other tour.
Well, it was about 10 years ago, maybe?
Long time ago, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Probably 10 years ago, yeah, when I was tagging around with Ellis, because Ellis was like my mentor, and he took me on the road, and so it goes onward.
It does. I know.
Yeah, I'm speaking of working, I remember you spending a lot of time in your room writing songs, just really being very, very intensely serious about your work.
That
and thinking, wow, that woman's really into her craft.
Too?
Yeah, we did.
Didn't we teach at the song school? That's what I was doing in my room. I was terrified, so I was planning my lessons like so down to every, like, I thought that if I plan more, it'll go better. That wasn't necessarily true, but I was like in my room.
Oh, wow. Were you guys like on what was the setting? Where were you staying?
Seldovia, the Seldovia Folk Festival.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was crazy.
Wild.
The whole town came because the whole town was only 300 people, and they all came except for like two people. Like 2 people were missing from the town.
Oh.
Who were those 2 people?
I don't know what they were doing that night. It was such a far off the beaten track place. Like you couldn't get there by car. You had to take a boat or a plane.
Wow.
Yeah, it was across the bay from Homer, Alaska.
That was so different.
Well, here we are,
Well,
reunited.
you should come next time.
I'd love to come to Alaska. That
You
sounds
should.
great.
Beautiful.
Hey, Freebo,
just an
do you
amazing
think-
place. Yes.
Do you think I should play another tune and have Antje sing, or would you like to play?
Yeah, why don't you do that, and then I'll play something.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. Sounds good. Here we go. Well, I'm impressed that you worked up these harmonies because, yes, you did. I'm sure you did. I'm sure you were just studiously in your room practicing all day.
No, I don't do that anymore.
I know a dirt road in the late afternoon where the shade and the sunlight gather in pools. There are trees to the right, twisted and wild. To my left is the sea like a glimmering eye. Well, I'm not the first one, and I won't be the last who's come to this crossroads and breezed on past, with my destination the only concern. 1 foot on the gas as the yellow light be still and take a deep breath. He's just hoping I will. But my mind keeps on racing till I'm far out of sight, at the end of the road, on the threshold of night. And there's nothing like being alone at twilight, the ocean and ice approaching high tide, held aloft on the waves of my pride. I'm better off walking alone at twilight. Well, the sun's gone down and the twilight is past. That magic hour, it never lasts. It's a long strand of pearls, one that I'll never own. And the answers I seek are the smallest of stones. So I work till I'm tired, then I lay down to rest, and that takes just a bit of this weight off my chest. But the years stretch before me, I admit that it's true, and this restless pursuit is what I'm called to do. And there's nothing like being alone at twilight, the ocean and ice approaching high tide, held aloft on the waves of my pride. I'm better off walking alone. Yeah, I'd hate to leave being alone at twilight. We gotta bring him back.
Yay!
Thank you.
Freebo.
Thanks for the applause. We need it.
And I was here. I was going.
We'll give you some. Oh, I wish you were here. Play together.
Freebo, that's your baritone guitar finally coming out, right?
Yeah. Does it sound okay there? Can you hear it pretty well?
Sounds
Yeah.
beautiful. I know that a lot of folks had been asking you to bring it
Beautiful.
out. Here, I'll bring up the
Yeah.
chat here so you can see.
Yeah. It's my Fender. Is it a Squire? Fender Squire baritone guitar. What's that color called again, Alice?
It's called Antigua.
Antigua.
This
Yeah, it's really
sunburst.
sweet.
I think
Is
it's
it
really
like
cool.
yellowish?
It's yellowish. It's kind of like
Okay.
a neutral sunburst. It's cool.
I've been to Antigua and all the buildings there are yellow
Oh,
and like
really?
sunburst, so that must be why
No
they
way.
named it that.
Oh my god.
Uh-huh.
Fun fact.
Yeah, fun fact.
Cool. Well, Freebo, before you play a song, can we just ask Antje one of our like classic interview questions?
Yeah,
How do you
it sounds
feel?
to
Which
me
comes
like
first,
like
the melody
sounds to
or
me
the-
like it sounds to me like you have one, Alice.
Well, I just would love for you to talk a little bit about how you got into songwriting, what your musical upbringing was. How did you become Antje Duvekot?
I mean, I was that when I was born, but I was a very, like as a child, even a small child, I loved music so much, but I didn't have a lot of control over, because I was a kid, so I had no power to seek it out. And I remember just like whenever there was like a song on TV that I liked, or when the adults were singing, I would just like go to there. But I remember starkly the feeling of not having the power to seek it out myself, because this was way before like kids had access to playlists and and I remember being so frustrated, like I love this music thing, but no one else in my family like was into it. and I felt like I could never get to it, until I grew up.
Yeah. And you grew up
Yeah.
in Germany,
I did,
correct?
yes.
When did you come
Yeah.
to the U.S.?
When I was 13.
So what kind of music did you hear growing up? Like, what was on the radio in
No,
Germany?
I don't know. It was like in school we would sing sometimes in Germany.
Yeah.
So there was that. And then this was a more analog time. So like
Yeah.
when adults got together, they would sing. That was like a thing at campfires and stuff. And like all the other kids would be like playing in the woods and I'd be like sitting at the campfire like listening.
Oh.
I was always into it.
Did they have instruments too, or was it just a cappella
It
singing?
might have been like one guitar or something like that.
Like,
Yeah.
and would they sing like German folk songs type stuff? Okay. Cool.
Yeah, or like Beatles. My Bonnie lies over the ocean, like with like a German accent.
I love that. Cool. And so when did you pick up the guitar?
Also around that, like as a pretty young kid, my mom had one lying around. Like she didn't really play it, but.
And did your relationship to like when you came to the United States, did your relationship to music change? Was there more access to more music when you got to be a teenager? And then when did you write your first song?
There wasn't that much access, but I guess I somehow managed to get my parents to buy me like a couple of cassette tapes. They would have already been in the folk music vein, like Rounder Records,
Okay.
Philo, I think. They were putting out these compilations of folk music back then. I think like Cheryl Wheeler and John Gorka was on there, Ellis Paul. Those were tapes, and I wore them out. Like, but I didn't have a lot of music. I just had those tapes, and they were like on constant repeat.
Wore them out.
Yeah, and then they made me. They did something to my heart, and I was like, "This is the only thing that means anything to me is this music." And I always knew I wanted to do that myself. Like there was no question. I was kind of obsessive about it.
Cool. I know the feeling. Somebody had asked whether you sing any songs in German. I don't think I've ever heard you sing a song in German.
Not many. I have one from a childhood I could do, but then you can't really sing along very well.
I don't think so, but I would love to hear it. Maybe we can.
I hardly do.
Well, Freebo, you speak a little German.
Ein bisschen. Ich spreche ein bisschen Deutsch. Ich habe viel vergessen.
How do you know German?
I spent a year in Germany. I was in school over there in 64, 65. And
wow.
matter of fact, and I've shared this before, my roommate was a guy named Jerry Donahue. And I had played a little bit of guitar. I picked it up between junior and senior year of high school. And my band director gave me the guitar for the year, and I had to give it back at the end of high school. So I really hadn't played in 2 years. And he was a guitar player. And the very first night, he took out his guitar and started playing. And I borrowed a guitar from a friend down the hall and just kind of started plucking along with him. And I just kind of go to bass registers, and he stopped playing. He said, how do you do that? Where'd you learn to do that? And I said, I don't know. I just think that way. He said, wow, you're a natural bass player. We got to get you a bass. And we did.
Cool.
We got a frameless bass for, I think it was basically $35. You know, it was like, not a whole lot of marks. And that was my first rock and roll band. And without the experience in Germany, I probably would not have become. How'd you become Freebo? That's kind of how I became Freebo.
So the German connection made you who you are, maybe. Cool.
It had a lot to do with it, Antje. It really did.
Cool.
Yeah, it's funny how we all ended up here. Like, why do we do this?
Well, that's kind of what we've enjoyed with this show, is asking everybody that comes on, and we've done 37 of these. This is the 37th episode, and every time it's interesting because the stories are different, but there's always that thread of I just had to, like I was compelled to be a musician by this whether it's that you just are drawn, like you said, it got in your heart, and then you can't, there's nothing else that compares, like you just have to. So whether you're a folkie or Brian Auger playing the organ, and there's we've had all kinds of different artists on here, and there's really that commonality. So yeah, that's so true, and that's the right word, Alice. Compelled. You pick up the instrument and you play. You play an E chord, and it's like, oh my God. That sounds so good. Yeah. And you learn a couple more chords, and you learn how to tune, and it's just something special about it. And then there are those people who really, really enjoy it, but they follow
they follow the conventional path and say, well, I really should become a doctor, a lawyer, a businessman. And there are those of us who choose the road less traveled and somehow wind up in this crazy life. And I mean, I'm so glad that it found me and then I chose it.
Yeah.
Would you say the same thing, Antje, that it found you?
Yeah. Your story with the cheap bass that you got for like the low amount of marks.
Yeah.
Made me think about like how grateful I was to my grandparents because they noticed that I was really into music, so they bought me a Loudon guitar. I don't know if you know those, but
Yeah.
that's a really nice guitar, and I can't even believe they spend that much money to buy a kid a guitar. But it was a quality instrument, and that just like spurred me on to try to play because every note sounded gorgeous, like on its own, you know. And when I see kids learning music and like parents give them like these cheapo things from like Walmart, I'm like, no, you got to give them a good instrument, otherwise they're not gonna like find the love.
It's so true. I remember when I worked at the guitar store in Seattle, we would always try to encourage parents like just like a little more, because especially because those cheaper instruments are not easy to play. They're not set up well, so you feel like you can't get it right because you kind of can't on those cheaper instruments. So I would always encourage that.
Yeah, that guitar is what made me keep going. I think it was so beautiful.
I had a similar thing. I was given a Seagull Dreadnought.
Really nice too.
Yeah, that just, it totally is like you want to play it because it just resonates and it feels good. It's like talking back to you.
Yeah, it's alive. Yeah.
Well, I mean, my first instrument was piano, so I kind of got the ear as far as the notes being right. And then somewhere around 10 years old, my dad got me a cheap ukulele and how to tune. I learned a couple chords, and it was really hard to get in tune. And if I hadn't had the background and the ear from piano, I just would have given it up, and I just would really work at it. And same thing when I got that first guitar. But I agree with you, Antje. And besides the fact that if you get a nice guitar, a relatively expensive guitar, it doesn't have to be super expensive, but expensive enough, you can always sell it for what you bought it for. And
well, actually, that guitar, my grandparents bought it for $600. It's worth like $3,000 now, and I had this like short fleeting thought. I was like, I could sell it, and then my heart broke into 1,000 pieces, even just to think of selling that guitar that I learned to play on. And I was like, okay, that was a bad idea, because I was like, ouch, can't sell that guitar.
What would they say?
But it did go up in value, so like that's
nice.
another thing too. Like
I think you have a song there.
You can sell it.
I like that idea just about the guitar and the fact.
I think that song's been written by Richard Shandell. He has an amazing song about a guitar.
Which one?
I don't know, but it's all about the journey of a guitar. It's like,
well, this wouldn't be the journey of the guitar. This would be your journey.
Okay.
Your journey.
Very well.
And I like when you said it. I was going to sell my heart broke into 1,000 pieces. I love that.
You write it, Freebo. You better write it. Write it about your old famous bass.
There you go.
Well, my heart didn't break into 1,000 pieces.
Yeah, it doesn't sound
then.
like it. Hey, Freebo, why don't you break our hearts with a song?
Well, this is actually a song about a broken heart. It's from my very first record, and I thought with this guitar it would sound nice, and it's a couple keys lower than I originally did it, and actually got Bonnie Raitt to sing a kind of a duet with me on this way back then, but she's not here tonight, and sometimes.
Oh my God! I thought you were just gonna bring her out.
I thought she was gonna be here.
Hey, Bonnie,
I'm leaving.
Hey, Bonnie, come here.
You guys said she would be here.
I know. I'm so disappointed.
She's in the picture over there, but no.
Oh, I guess that counts.
Anyway, this song is called "How Do I Say Goodbye." Let me take my earplugs out here. Earphones. It will never be again, you know, the time I shared with her, the time I cared for her, and the time she cared for me. The time is gone forever. My severed soul now bleeds. Our oneness now recedes. And in the lonely hour of a lonely heart, I dare to contemplate the mystery of my fate. Why are moments lost forever, where the graves of dreams that die? What comes of a love that mourns a lover? How do I say goodbye? How do I say goodbye? Goodbye, baby. Goodbye, baby. Goodbye, baby. Goodbye. Now the surging tides of love have ceased. I hear the empty roar of a wave that breaks no more, and my heart's a lonely shore. How do I surrender these broken dreams I know? How do I let them go? Will I close my eyes 'cause the freedom lies in the dream I leave behind? Another love to find. Why are moments lost forever, where the graves of dreams that die? What comes of a love that mourns a lover? How do I say goodbye? Why are moments lost forever, where the graves of dreams that die? What comes of a love that mourns a lover? How do I say goodbye? How do I say goodbye? Goodbye, baby. Goodbye, baby. Goodbye, baby. Goodbye, how do I say?
That was beautiful.
Oh, I love that song, Freebo. That is just gorgeous. Oh,
Yeah.
he doesn't have his
Here.
headphones in.
Oh. We'll have to wait.
There we go.
Freebo.
Freebo, we
Hi.
said your song was beautiful, but you didn't hear us.
We loved it. Just
Did you?
gorgeous. And we were both singing with you.
Yep.
Were you? Oh, thank you.
And your
Thank you.
guitar
Well,
sounds nice.
Yeah, the guitar is
Yeah.
sounding great.
Thank you. I tell you, it's interesting. That is, I'm actually playing in let's see, I'm actually playing in E flat, and I recorded it in G, in which, you know, it's like
Whoa.
two whole keys,
Yeah.
4 half keys lower, and man,
Hey.
it's so much easier to sing. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed singing it.
That's so
Love
nice that
singing.
you can
Yeah, that was
take
mellow.
it down with. Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
Hey, the right
That's what's-
key is.
Oh
Key.
man, it's everything.
No pun intended.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
key.
Yep.
Cool. Well, what did you have in mind to play, Antje?
I mean, we've never done this together, but the other night I did a house concert and I played Angel from Montgomery, which is the song that's done a lot, I know, but I really enjoy playing it, so can I do it again?
Of course. And
Okay.
as folks know, I've done this song with Freebo many times. He taught me his beautiful arrangement of it, and Freebo, of course, played on the original with Bonnie Raitt. So
Wait, he didn't. Then I'm not doing it then. Never mind. I didn't know you played on the real song. Forget it. Okay, let me do one of mine instead.
you can do it.
I can't do it in front of Freebo if he played on the actual song with Bonnie Raitt.
But Antje, honestly, and Angel's a great song. And while I'd love to hear your version, I love your songs. I'd really love to hear one of yours.
How about So I'm so torn. I want to do a new one. At the same time, I don't want to do one that you don't know.
I want to hear a new one.
Because that's a waste of you singing along. So
don't waste me.
A waste of you.
I don't want to waste you. But meanwhile, which of mine do you still remember? Long Way, Dublin Boys, Merry Go Round.
Let's do Long Way.
Okay, let's do Long Way. Great.
And maybe you can save the cover for the after party to encourage folks
that's a
to
good
come
idea.
join
Oh,
us.
yeah.
There you go.
Call. If you want to hear a new one, you gotta stay.
You got to stick around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's a good old one. This is about a road trip I took in the year 2000, which, oh my God, that's 2 decades ago. I can't believe it. Like in the song, there's a reference to a payphone.
Did you use this?
No, I don't need it. You know,
A payphone?
awkwardly dangled.
What's a payphone?
Yeah, I know. There's that's how you know you're old, when your songs have references to payphones in them, non-sarcastically. Thank you. That will stay. We bid our friends goodbye. We promised we would write them and headed north up 95. To the great unknown, we turned up our stereo and I felt so reckless and alive. We didn't know who we would be, we didn't know where we would end up when we headed down that road. Little food and our guitars in the backseat in that old cello, the one that would get stolen in a town in Idaho. And it's a long way to Michigan and back, and it's a long way. It's a long way, clouds upon our backs, and it's a long, 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 long way. I have never seen reflections of the cleanest, the blue as in Minnesota lakes. Those were the longest nights of wood smoke and northern lights as we talked until the morning came. The light of glowing embers, as sweet as I remember, among the rustling of the trees. Legend of the harvest moon, and sweet ballad of the loon. I felt as ancient as I was meant to be. It's a long way to Tennessee and back, and it's a long way. It's a long way, clouds upon our backs, and it's a long, 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 long way. Called you from a payphone in windy cold Missoula, and then from Midland in the rain. No place as proud and sad as the South Dakota Badlands that touched me more than I could explain. On a dirt poor reservation where the Oglala Nation tries to hang on to its ways. Heather and peyote pipe, 6-pack of Miller Lite sits on the dashboard of a beat-up Chevrolet. It's a long way to Washington and back, and it's a long way. It's a long way, clouds upon our backs, and it's a long, 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 long way. Out in California, we touched the other ocean, and I still have that jar of sand. In the Arizona desert, The sky goes on forever. You've never seen a thing as grand. North Montana was cold. She keeps her secrets frozen under glaciers way up north. People have got lost up there in the home of the grizzly bear, and you can pass the mountain, but the mountain doesn't care. It's a long way to Delaware and back, and it's a long way. It's a long way, clouds upon our backs, and it's a long, 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 long way. Oh, it's a long way, on worn out heels up Kerouac. It's a long, 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 long way. You got that.
Man, I love that song, and I love how you cover so much ground. And I was just wondering,
Yeah.
hey Freebo, welcome back.
Beautiful. That was beautiful. Wow.
Had you ever
Once
heard
again.
that song?
No, I never did. And I love the lyric. I love the fact that you can use, I mean, just Washington and Miller and all these
Yeah.
just regular everyday things, and yet have it be very poetic.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Thank you. During
Well-
Washington, I was thinking about how we used to sometimes play in Washington when you lived there.
Yes,
In
I know.
Seattle.
Bill Lippy's house, which
Yes.
is actually how we were reconnected, was through our friend Bill Lippy.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
wow.
it's so funny. I just love how I was wondering in the songwriting process, like, did you reach a point where you were like, this has too many verses, like this is
Yeah.
crazy, and were you just like, nope, I have to say all of this? I'm just curious, like, when,
Yeah.
well, how did you decide when? Because that's, you have to make that choice
No.
somewhere.
Yeah, I think historically my songs have been pretty wordy, and I feel like it's really hard to limit yourself.
Yeah.
I typically have too many words. Maybe
too.
I should write blogs or something.
That's great. Do you write newsletters or do you
no.
ever write poetry or prose?
No, I don't write anything else. That's why I have to get it all into my songs.
Well, I have to say, because I'm sitting here in Antje's living room with her, I am seeing all this incredible stuff that she's working on. I know you've been doing a lot of stop motion animation.
Yeah,
Can
I
you
can't
talk a
reach
little
any
bit?
to show. Can I do
I'm-
show and tell?
Yes, do show and tell. You guys, she does these incredible little dioramas with all the perfect little things that are in the shot, and it's just gorgeous. I mean, she showed me something she was working on. It's
See, I feel like
just so beautiful. It's so detailed.
this one sort of looks like you.
It kind of does.
This
Here,
is
get
like
closer. This is. Look at that, Freebo.
can you see? It's not.
I'll get it closer. It's like a tiny little.
And like
It looks like Alice.
I know, it's me. She unknowingly drew me.
yeah. So I've been
those are
doing
very
these
cool.
animated videos for people, and I have a list of clients. So I'm hoping to keep doing that as a side business.
It's very cool.
Yep.
I love
Well,
That
that.
was just
it's-
one of
it-
those unexpected COVID
Yeah.
surprises. I go, oh,
No,
look, we're
it's
here.
Yeah.
hey, it's about being creative. I mean, we're creative beings, and if you can figure out a way to be creative and then find a way to market it so you can make a living, so you can pay the rent, so you can continue being creative, that's where it's at, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
they're just I just love that you've transformed that creative energy into something completely not. I mean, it's not songwriting. It has nothing to do with your guitar or it's. I mean, it's images and it's just. Yeah, you know, we've all picked up new skills and
Yeah.
hobbies, I think, in this time.
What
but
did you
it's-
do this year that you hadn't before, like creatively or otherwise?
You know, I did have a couple moments dabbling with a little more visual art, like drawing and painting a little bit, which I love to do. And I got into my watercolors again.
Oh,
so,
nice.
and have you ever heard of The Artist's Way?
Yeah.
Have you done it? So I also did that last summer, and it's this wonderful book by
Cool.
Julia Cameron, and it's a 12-step creative recovery is what she calls it. It's like a way of really getting through some of the blocks that we as creative people can have that hold us back from really being able to, let's say, write every day. Like, what is it that stops you? You know, like what's that fear or that thing that holds you back?
Right, right.
It's really it's just a wonderful book for kind of moving through some of that and just, you know, playing. It's like about getting that inner child to just play.
Yeah.
And be creative.
To give
so.
yourself license.
Yeah.
Because you love it, not because it has to be great or people will judge it or whatever.
Right.
Exactly.
And there's that. Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah,
that's a big part of the. Am I unmuted? Yeah. That's a big part of the book, Antje, is getting your critic out of your head and realizing when it's there, and really so much of what she talks about. I did the book 20 years ago, and more than 20 years ago. Wow, at least 25, and it really helped me tremendously. It just was huge. And Alice, if I must say so, I've seen some of your. I've seen some of your painting and your drawing. I mean, I think you're very talented, you know, in that visual aspect, and I would encourage you to do more of that as well.
Thank you. I just, you know, you got to have the right tools. You got to have the space to do it. You know, it's a whole like other set of, it's like gear, your other gear, you know, your paintbrushes. And it's just, you have to give yourself the space and the time to just do it.
I love to have it both. I used to just have music, and now I feel like I've rekindled my love of visual arts. And like, and I know Joni Mitchell did that a lot or does that a lot.
Oh,
and
yeah, very much
it's so nice to toggle back and forth. It's different, but it fulfills you in different ways.
I've read that she even thinks of herself as a painter first and a songwriter second.
Wow.
I read that in her biography.
Songwriting,
I know, like, come on,
kind of
Joni.
class, it's
She's like, just my side gig.
Yes.
But I think that in her where as she evolved as an artist, I think that was what she first did. So that's kind of that deepest place for her,
right?
Where she's maybe
her
like
very first,
like doesn't critique herself as much because it's like it's that pure thing. So,
hey Freebo, we got a question in the chat. What was the last song you played, Freebo? What was the title of that song?
How Do I Say Goodbye? It's on my first album, which is called The End of the Beginning. So you can get it on certainly download it on a CD Baby or stream it. And that's the one that Bonnie sings a duet with me on it.
Beautiful.
Thank you. And Alice, I was going to suggest we're running out of time for our folks in Asheville.
I know. I better do another tune, and then you better
just so
do
you know,
one.
I've got my cordial shirt on, and so we're not just so that Antje knows that we're going to give her a shirt like this and a cable present for you, Antje.
The shirt.
Yeah, you get a shirt too.
Wow.
But we will be doing the giveaway during the after party.
That's right. We want folks to join. But Alice, why don't you play another tune before we run out of time? Might be enough time for one of yours and one of mine.
I think we can make that work.
All right.
Let's see. I think I'll do
something that Antje can sing harmony on. Maybe
sing something.
What?
Maybe something that Antje can sing harmony on. That she
He's
knows
requesting
maybe?
something that I can sing harmony on, but don't listen to him because do whatever you want.
Don't listen.
Because I don't know if I know.
That's my plan. Could I use your tuner?
Yes. I don't know.
Don't know what happened to mine. Okay. Yeah, I think I'll do a song that I did play this last week, but this is one. I'll do "You've Been Away So Long."
Okay. Mind if I use my reading glasses? You
can use your reading glasses. Wow, did you pull that up on my website?
Yeah. Is this the one?
Oh, that's not that one.
Okay.
But we can do that one.
I love this one. This
is
my
let's
favorite
do that
song
one.
of yours.
Oh my goodness. Well, why did you say so?
I just love it.
This is like my road song. It goes well with goes well with the last one you just did. Okay, perfect. I love the harmony part on this. This is one that had my brother actually come sing on for my record. So when you listen to the recording of this song on Visions, my album that Freebo produced, and we actually wrote this song together, you can hear Freebo and Augie singing their parts in 3-part harmony. The boys. All right. It's called You Just Never Know. Happens when you try to go into dadgad and then you change your mind. Yep. Folks, just so you know, I was gonna say it's like 90 degrees in Boston, Massachusetts right now. So if Antje and I are looking at all shiny, or you might say we're glowing, it's because we're really working it out in here.
It's the sauna.
I'm westward bound on the turnpike, and the sky is looking like rain. And the farther I go, the more sure I grow. I can't go back the way that I came. I passed the exit that led to my first love. I can't say where he's living now, but a lifetime ago I'd have taken that road just as fast as those turns would allow. Am I covering ground or just spinning my wheels? Have I got farther to go? Right around the next bend it may all be revealed, but the truth is you just never know. You just never know. Well, I looked to this road for my freedom, and I drove it from end to end, and it dumped me into the ocean, then it sent me right back again. Am I covering ground or just spinning my wheels? Have I got farther to go? Right around the next bend it may all be revealed, but the truth is you just never know. Oh, you just never know. I take it 1 mile at a time as I get up to speed along these wide lines. I'm alone in the gathering night, adrift on a sea of little red lights. Well, I've left in a hurry, and I've taken my time, driven blinded by love and by the tears in my eyes, broken down on the shoulder with no place to go. And I breezed through the night as I made my way home. Am I covering ground or just spinning my wheels? Have I got farther to go? Right around the next bend it may all be revealed, but the truth is you just never know. Oh, you just never know. You just never know.
I love that one.
Thank you.
I love the lyrics too.
Thank you. May I have the other side of this headphone? Thank you. Thanks, Freebo.
Very
Hey.
nice. I was playing along with you.
Oh, good.
Aw.
He was playing along. Well, I just want to mention one more time that, folks, you are listening to WPVM FM 103.7 on the dial and globally at WPVMFM.org. Thank you to
Globally.
our friends, the Voice of Asheville. And we've got about 5 minutes left on the radio clock, and then we're going to switch over to the after party where we will do our giveaway, and we'll see you guys for a little bit, and Antje will do that song. So, Freebo, why don't you take us out from the radio?
Okay. So long to you folks in Nashville. We love you, and we hope to see you soon. And Antje, I'll see you on the other side. Thank you,
yeah.
Alice. You guys, I've got to say, you guys look and sound so cute together. It's ridiculous. It
We're
really
having
is.
fun.
I know. I love it. Okay, for you guys, standing ovation in a much lower key. This would be interesting.
All right.
If life is a comedy, the part that we play is never as clear as it could be. Or maybe a drama, who is to say? But it always turns out as it should be. And if I am a player who's played his part well and did it with humor and grace, when I die, give me a standing ovation, a celebration for a job well done. No need to cry, it's not my final destination. I'll be at the station when the train comes by. Ooh, you write your own story as the pages unfold, but you're never quite sure of the ending. Maybe it's destiny, maybe it's choice, maybe we're all just pretending. In the tale of a lifetime, if it all comes around and you only receive what you're sending, when you die, when I die, give me a standing ovation. Actually, for you too, you can have one also. When I die, give me a standing ovation, a celebration for a job well done. No need to cry, it's not my final destination. I'll be at the station when the train comes by. Some have it easy, some have it all. Some work so hard for so little. We sink to the bottom and we rise to the top, but mostly wind up in the middle. The more we are different, the more we're the same. I'm just one more who's worked through the riddle. And when I die, give me a standing ovation, a celebration for a job well done. No need to cry, it's not my final destination. I'll be at the station when the train comes by. Oh yes I will. Oh yes I will. On the baritone.
Freebo.
Yeah, gorgeous.
Freebo, I'm loving this. Oh, gotta get his headphones. Well, I will tell you people, I am loving this baritone guitar.
Yeah, it's really
I
gentle.
can't hear you. Oh,
Freebo, we're loving the baritone.
thank you.
And the key is just really, it's kind of letting you do a little more relaxing with it. It's really
Yeah.
nice.
Well, because a couple of those songs, I mean, both of these just because the way the guitar is, even though I tune my guitar down a whole step, I could use to go down another whole step because they're high in my range.
Yeah.
And so it's nice to be relaxed and be able to just a little strange, just kind of feeling the guitar. It's like it's bigger, so it, and so it takes. I don't quite have that down yet, but I'm digging it too. Glad you guys are. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's time for the after party. I hope folks are aware that you can actually join us in the Zoom, and we will let you in just a couple minutes, and then you can actually say hi to us, and we can see you, and we can go around and share or ask questions if you'd like, and we'll do a couple more songs before we end the night. And just to let you know, now that we're off the radio, I would like to just be sure you all know that this show is all about your donations. That is what actually pays us for our work this evening. So we so appreciate it if you're able to make a donation tonight. $5, $10, $20, Venmo, PayPal, whatever you're able to afford. That said, if you cannot afford to donate, we still want you to watch, and we appreciate you sharing the show and telling your friends about it. Just know that it helps us a lot, and it keeps us going, and we thank you for your support. And you can send a check, you can do a credit card. All the links are in the chat. So, yeah, just
thank you.
As you are able, and thank you. Anything to add to that, Freebo?
No, thanks for saying that, and I would say for those folks who've been watching and just haven't donated, we sure would appreciate it, I mean, I'll be honest, you've had a free ride, and we've been giving it to you, but we really appreciate it. Just one time, just donate something. Thank you. You can hate me. I don't really care. I'm just being honest.
Freebo, tell it like it
is. You know who you are.
Freebo, say your truth.
I'm telling
Speak it, brother.
That's funny.
Well, folks, I think we've got some waiting in the waiting room, so maybe we can let them in.
We just transitioned to Zoom.
Yeah, we're actually, so the great thing is it continues to broadcast out.
So it's still on Facebook?
Everything is still the same.
Okay,
yeah.
thanks.
Yeah,
okay.
All good. I know, we didn't
still
even...
won't talk about people.
Yeah, everyone can hear everything you're saying right now. You can just talk about money and CD sales now. Oh, and I'd like to make sure you mention your show in Boston. This next Saturday.
May I?
Yes, please.
Yes, absolutely.
Playing at Boston City Winery on June 5th, which is coming right up. It's a Saturday, and it's an indoor show, but they're being super safe about it, like capping it at 80 people in the big room. So I think it'll feel good.
Great.
So please come.
Yes. I'm sorry, I'm just going to miss it. I'm leaving two nights before. Are they streaming it as well, or is it only?
No, I don't think so.
Interesting.
I don't think they are. Oh, look, there's people.
Yes, here they are. Wait, let me put this on
Hi,
gallery
everyone.
view. Hi, you guys. Here they are. Hi. These are some of our friends who come every week. Hi,
Aww.
David and Leanie, Bruce, Alan, Sharon, Sue, Anne. Great to see you. Hi, Storm. Well, you guys, it's great to have you in here. If anyone wants to continue to join as we go along here, you're welcome to. It's going to be open for as long as we are doing this. You can just pop into the room. So, wow, what a treat. Here we are. Freebo, do you have any, deep questions for Antje or me?
Oh my God,
or
deep
anything?
questions? Deep
Or
questions.
shallow ones.
Or shallow, yeah.
Well, let me think.
Or should we open it up?
Well, we can open it up. I would like to ask Antje, how has this COVID this year for you been? I mean, have you been super creative? Have you been depressed? Have you been in?
Yes.
Just give us a Cliff Note version of what this year has been for you.
Depressed.
This to prove that she's been busy.
Well, when I wasn't depressed, I was creative, but sometimes I was just depressed. Sometimes the screen thing felt so abstract to me that I felt alone, even though I was reaching out to people on screens all the time. But I still felt like not quite okay. I guess that's probably not a very unique story, but I guess we're all kind of catching up now with each other. Like, how was it for you now that we're all like coming out of the bubble? And for me, it was a mixed bag. I'm grateful that I have art because it's always gotten me through. In fact, when I was a teenager, songs and music got me through some pretty horrific family stuff. And so I know exactly how to do this. Like, I know how to go inward and just be with my art. But it's not something I wanted to have to do again, ever again.
Right.
Like, I did that when I was a teenager and it got me through. But I didn't foresee needing to do that again. But I did that to some extent. I just got really creative because you couldn't really see anyone. I had a boyfriend through some of the pandemic that eased the isolation, but then we broke up and then it was really hard.
He was a COVID boyfriend, she told me.
He was just a COVID boyfriend.
And
That's a tough time to break up in the middle of COVID.
I know.
Man.
What was I thinking? Why did I do
What
that?
were you thinking? Why
I
didn't you just
should've
tough it
waited.
out?
Totally.
Did you?
I mean-
hey, if I may ask, did you break up with him or did he break up
I
with you?
did. Yeah.
Oh, why'd you
I
do
should've just-
that?
I don't know. That's what I was asking myself in January when I was all alone. Why did I do that? But it was isolating. Yeah, I don't know. How about you guys?
Well, I have the honor of having been the first person to come into your apartment.
Yeah, you're the first. I saw you. I was like, what do I do? I guess I'll offer her some water.
She was
I'm
like, what do you
been
offer
so
this? I know.
long.
Do we hug? Do we? It's funny. I got to go to Passim, Club Passim last week, or I guess. When was that? I have no sense of time. I'm visiting my family. My days are just my sense of time
It was on
is gone.
Saturday night, I think.
Saturday night, yeah. So, and many of you, I'm sure, were watching, and it was really, really special to just. There was only 5 people there: Matt and Abby from the club, and my mom and my friend and his girlfriend and one other person. But it was like just to walk in there and hug them, and and. To just, I mean, Matt is just such a wonderful guy, and Abby's so great, and they're so, like, they are embodiment of that place.
They are.
And it's just like, oh my God, it's real. Like, it just felt like it's gonna be okay,
Yeah.
It's oh my gosh.
I love Alan's screensaver being us.
Alan,
That's great.
He's so quick with that. Oh, let me open
Now,
it.
Alan, how come you have them behind you? You don't have me. I know they're better looking, but gosh.
Well, it's because it's that sort of mirror image thing, We gotta be.
Right.
Here's a
like
suggestion.
flanked.
He was just my COVID boyfriend. You have a lot of song appointments. The song
I do have
prompts
to
for
write
tonight.
that song, COVID boyfriend.
Well, I hate to
Alan,
say it, but the last time we saw you was on our Fleming call, and that's when you shared your COVID romance
yeah. I wrote
song.
a song about him, and I was all like,
He even got a song. Like,
did.
wow.
yeah, maybe I'll play it.
Maybe you should.
Yeah, would you?
Why don't you do
should.
that right now? Yeah.
Thank you. This will be healing.
Who's that song about, Antje?
Well, I wrote this song when I had just met him in March of 2020.
Oh, the boyfriend. Ah.
Yeah, he was a true COVID boyfriend because we met during lockdown. We met during lockdown on Please Don't Laugh Instagram. We met on Instagram.
I've never
during
heard
lockdown.
that one. Cute.
That's how we met, and then we chatted, and then we talked on the phone, and eventually we met in real life, and we hit it off really well in real life. But I wrote this song before I'd ever met him in real life. So it's like a telephone romance song about about being on the telephone for many hours with someone you've never met, but you feel like attracted to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it's called Traces. And I guess you can't sing on it. You know, that's not gonna work. I need just one capo. Here we go. I leave you traces. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You come in stages. 1, 2, 3. Closer by degrees. In the dim beyond, the in between, the perimeter of dreams. So far beyond the contours, so much closer than it seems. Like a string to a kite, I think you might have just the hands to hold me. Your voice on the wire, like an unseen fire, unravels and unfolds me. The hum of electricity is coming through static. Could be love, love, love. And all the riots of uncertainty go quiet. Whenever you are on the line, we are made of time, and I could linger, stay until the end. Follow your fingers to where the pavement. When I will trace your silhouette that I have never traced. And in a world thrown off its axis, so you spin me into place. And all the riots of uncertainty go quiet. Whenever you are on the line, we are made of time. I ran my ship from beach to beach. There were things I loved in each. I ran my ship against the stones. I've been lost, I've nearly drowned. Well, I have bathed in the Amazon rain. I've seen things I can't explain. Like how we followed the same star when we were anchoring in harbors and gleaming ports. I sat and dined, and I found revelry in wine. But all those wharfs, they were not mine. So many songs I've learned and sung. I love the landscape, but nobody knew my tongue. I leave you traces, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You come in stages, 1, 2, 3. Closer by degrees, in the dim beyond the in-between. Perimeter of dreams, so far beyond the contours, so much closer than it seems. So yeah, I got some out of it.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
That's a great song.
Did you write any new
Wow.
songs during? You guys must have written a few songs during COVID year.
I have, and Freebo has as well, and we've written together a bunch.
Wow!
Did you guys hear that thunder?
that shook my apartment.
That's exciting.
Yep.
I guess we're getting a
What was
thunderstorm,
that?
folks. It was thunder.
Thunder.
Just
Is that thunder? Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey.
We don't